Salam, angels, how are you? It feels like a little while since I spoke with you, even though it was just last month that we had class, but that can seem like a while, and a lot's been happening here. As you've probably gathered, not so much from what I've said, but from what I've not said, right? So I've had messages from a couple of you, and yes, a couple of you have sussed out our big news. Zola Dog right there, if you don't know Zola Dog, by the way. So we are moving, and this is the big decision that I've been sitting with. We knew that we were going to be moving. We knew we were going to be moving possibly by the end of the year, but circumstances and an untenable situation, shall we call it, made the decision so much easier and difficult in a way because it's very uncertain. So I would, generally we want to make these decisions when we have a little more concrete, a little what we feel is solidity, what we might call security. And this is a kind of a little up in the air, uncertain, as in it's not pegged down, but it's also very flexible. And it just feels right. And the way that it feels right to me is that I feel lighter since making the decision. Now, on saying that, I'm also having moments, right, where I'm just like, are you out of your mind? Because not only are we going to move, but because we're going into somebody else's, on and off now, but then in February for 9 months, we're going to be living in someone's house that has everything that we need for until at least next November, a year next November. We don't need our stuff, and we don't need to store it, right? It's just ridiculous. So it's all going, and already it's started to go. Some of my most beloved items have already left. Some made it through the fire with me, like Bubbles the bear. I'm going to do a post about Bye Bye Bubbles, and Arms Open Wide, one of my beloved plants. And she just had these big leaves that when you walked in the room, you felt like she just was saying, give me a hug. So we called her Arms Open Wide. She left and went to Mira's house last night, along with a lot of other plants, and my friend Sarah's coming tomorrow to get some more, and my landlord Toby is going to be custodian and guardian, a new guardian of the glass, or the glass that her son and one of my favorite people in the world, Asher, who I call Pookie, made for us. And so we're finding homes for the stuff that is very dear to us, and I'm making it a practice to savor giving away something that feels very hard. The bear was really hard yesterday. The plant, I knew I was going to give it away, but I didn't want her to take it right then because it takes up a big spot in our room. And when I got up this morning, I just felt like we're moving. Everything's, I can feel it. So that brings me to why I'm here with you, because this has been quite a lot to digest, and we are either donating, selling, gifting, or dumping everything, apart from one small altar box, a few, and I mean a few, chosen books, and our clothes, which we don't have a lot of clothes, Samaj's tools, art supplies, and fabric. Because I've got a sewing machine. When I get there, they've told me to just have their sewing machine, so my sewing machine is going to another friend, and it can be hard, but then when I think about these things that I have that I could go and put into storage and they could just be sitting in storage, or my friend could be sitting there sewing herself something that she couldn't sew before, or my other friend could be sitting looking at the plant, arms open wide, just watering her, talking to her, that we give our things new life. When I was training with Lama, he told me the story of an artist whose house burnt down, and with it were all of her creations, her paintings, her sculptures, And when she was talking to him and sharing with him about her experience, and I can really resonate with this having been through a fire, she said that the only representations of her art that survived are the ones that she either sold or gave away. The ones that were not with her, you see. So sometimes I just see it like sprinkling a seed, you know, you give something over here, and that native wisdom would tell us that everything has energy and is to be used. So if we're not using it and we can give it to someone else and let its energy be used, then that is a much better use of it, right? Otherwise it's a waste to just sit in a box. And that, you know, then people are like, yes, but what if you need it in the future? Well, what if I trusted that if I do need it in the future, it will come back to me in some way? And no, I don't want to say to people, several people have said, well, you know what, if you want it back, no. Because then if you break it or it dies and you're going to be upset, like, oh my gosh, I broke shoes, it's yours, right? Free and clear. And it's very, you know, there's a grieving process for me, but I'm interested to feel, you know, when we drive off on the 30th, we will have a U-Haul because we've got Samaj's drums, we've got the tools, so that stuff is more than a car full. We'll have the car on a trailer, and you guys, this is the first time I've said this out loud in public, and it's going to be a little crazy in the meantime because we've got a lot to get out of the house. So that brings me to this month's class and this month's classes. So hopefully I'll get this month's classes released this week. So you'll get August classes, your 3. They're already recorded, so you're all good on that. And then our live class, I'm at the flea market this coming Sunday. So our live class is going to have to be let me look at my calendar and decide. It may be, we may just do it on a different day even, because the Saturdays and Sundays there's only one more after that before we leave. And I want to get the class, your live class done. But this is what happens, you know, with life. It doesn't always go the way that we want it, and we can't always do everything exactly as planned. We just can't. So this is where our practice comes in. It's not about what life throws at us, but how we react to it. So in this instance, for me, it's like not getting crazy about the fact that I, you know, think I should have done it or caught up in that. And then for you as well, it's an opportunity that if you find yourself thinking, for some reason, that you can be like, oh, you know what, shit happens and it's all good, because in the scheme of things, it just is all good in the scheme of things. So anyway, life is a practice, and definitely feeling like life's giving me a lot of practice right now. But interested to see what lies on the other side of this. You know, this is going to be life of no fixed abode via Orange. So we know that we're going to be in Orange for the month of September. We should be back here doing our fall retreats in October. And then, November, December, and January will be revealing themselves. And in February, this is when we start the longer house and dog sit in Orange in our favorite Eichler, which we're super stoked because the books are coming and a new series is coming, and that's the perfect place for them to come from. So relishing this last visit with Zola for now, but she'll be back with her at Christmas. You know, we're calling this the Adieu Tour. So it's looking at everything through goodbye eyes, and it makes me think, you know, what if we did everything, if we looked at everything through adieu eyes, you know, because we never know when will be the last time. So the last part I'll share with you is I cried in the orchard last night. I came home from sauna. I felt amazing, and we told them that we're going to be driving out in 2.5, you know, it's 2 weeks on Thursday. it's soon. And everyone's like, what? We've been here 6 years. And we had just the sweetest time. Got home, took Zola and walked out into the orchard, and under the moonlight I just cried, because being coastal, our apples aren't quite ready, and I realized that they're not going to be ready before I leave. I've already, after picking this orchard for 15 years, because I used to come here before I lived here, I've already picked my last apple in this rotation, right? So I will come back to the farm, I have no doubt. But in this part, this is my last, I've already done it last year. I didn't know that was going to be my last apple. I didn't know for a whole year. I just cried. And I'm happy to be going, but it's poignant and it's melancholy, and I think that's all really good, because there is this feeling of change and yet also familiarity, because we really are very familiar with the house in Orange. We stayed there a lot this year. I love the dogs. I'm excited to spend more time with them and have that stability and be down there. So hope that you'll bear with us. We'll be doing our best to just do our best with what we have, and just know this is kind of a, like for anyone, it's a stressful time to move, and we're not just packing things up into a box and just put it in a truck and deal with it there. This stuff is not going with us, so we're going through absolutely everything right now, and it feels like quite the mission. So I wanted, what I did want to do was share it with you first. So tomorrow Samaj and I will be doing something together, I think, but you get to hear it right now, because you are our angels and we love you so.